So these ones and these back here are 2 weeks after planting. So it was about last week, a week ago, that they started sprouting. So it took a week for anything to sprout, and then they came up. I actually planted the best ones already, which I'll show you in a minute, but I just kind of wanted to show you the progress. So at the bottom here you can see the roots all the way, and the ones that I planted, the roots are all the way everywhere in this pot. Like when you take it out, they're all through the pot. These are the pumpkins. And then I'll show you the beans. I have one over there, it looks really good. And these are carrots, and then these are beans as well. This is the squash that I planted just in some milk jugs, which we'll go over in a minute. And that one's not quite sprouted yet. So let me show you what I've done so far today. So as I said, I planted these seeds 2 weeks ago in the little pots, and I just transferred it here and here today. These are pumpkins, so I gave them a lot of room. This little guy here is one that I planted in eggshells. So I kept the eggshells after I was cooking, and I cleaned them all out, and I put dirt, and I planted seeds in them 2 weeks ago. And then this is a bean that sprouted. So these actually took a little bit longer to sprout. These probably sprouted about 3 or 4 days ago, and this one shot up within a day. This is what it looks like in 1 day. And the day before, it was, you could just see a little bit popping out from the soil here. So that is incredible in 1 day. I'm gonna plant this, and the nice thing about the egg here is I can kind of crack it, or the soil, and it's really good nutrients for the garden and the plants. So let's put that in there, and I'm gonna show you how I did all of these. So as I'm filming this, I just realized I can show you. So if you see this little bit right here, I planted 2 seeds in each one because I wasn't sure how they would sprout. And it was more of an experiment. I've never actually done it from seed before. But with the current world situations going on, we didn't have an option. So this is what it looked like yesterday, this little green that you can see at the bottom. And then this is what it looked like at the end of the day when I put it out in the sun. This happened. So incredible, in 1 day it grew this much. I wish I could have like time-lapsed it or something, but now we're going to plant it. Again, it might be way too early to plant, but where we live, the weather's pretty good right now, and it's just an experiment. So I'm gonna put it in. Sorry, my daughter's currently burying my sandal that I'm wearing with my socks. Anywho, so time to bury it, and we'll see how it goes. So for this one, I'm just cracking the egg a little bit to help it. And I just wanted to take a look. So as you can see here, the roots at the bottom. Sorry, one moment. I don't know if you can see at the very bottom here, but there are roots coming out at the very, very bottom of that eggshell and at the top, which tells me that this one, I don't know if you can see, there's just the roots all over. So I'm gonna put it in, and sorry, it's a little blurry. I'm gonna put it in, and we're gonna experiment and see how well this does. As I said, it might be a little bit early to put the seeds in here, but I have so many seeds over there and so many more to still plant. And as you can see, this is a very small garden I have, so it's all about the experimenting, seeing what works, and you know, helping out others. So I might be giving away some seeds to local people that live by me and things like that. So yeah, let's test this one out. I'm gonna try to film the best I can while I'm doing this, but I'm also trying to be like really careful not to fully bury it. Sorry, I'm using my daughter's like play shovels. Like I said, I'm no expert gardener. I just, you know, kind of do what I can with what I have, and yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing. So just nicely bury it. This one was a little bit covered, so I'm just gonna cover him up a teeny bit like he was until he's ready to come out. When I cracked the eggshell, I accidentally cracked his like little protective bit he had going on, or it had. And there we go, I'll just let it do its thing. But this little bean is planted. And to make room in the garden, currently I transferred the kale and cabbage over into here. These guys weren't doing as good anyway, so I just transferred them for the time being because the pumpkins are going to need a lot more room. If you are interested, I can show you which ones I was working with, just so you can kind of see what I was doing. This is the pumpkins that you can see in the background here. On the right hand side, the plants beside me are the pumpkins. This is what I did. I really wanted Addison to have a pumpkin this year for Halloween. So this one says about 110 days, 8 to 10 days to sprout. And I kind of didn't really follow these instructions. I just put, as you can see, I put about 3 or 4 seeds in each pot because oh my gosh, sorry, my toddler keeps throwing her ball on my garden. No thank you. So that was that one. This one was the quickest one to sprout, the most success. Then we have the beans, which was the second quickest to sprout. That is the ones right here underneath. And this says 53 days, 6 to 14 days to sprout. Like I said, the other one said 8 to 10, but the other ones came out faster. Maybe it was just the different pots that I had them in. I just reused pots that I got from last time. And yeah, again, I didn't really follow the instructions on here of where to plant them. I just put a couple in each one and they sprout very quickly. Now lastly, we have carrots, which is really interesting. I didn't know carrots pop up like this, and all of you actual gardeners are probably going to cringe at the fact that you can tell I literally just poured a bunch of seeds in each one. Like, this one says 60 to 70 days. There were a lot of seeds in here. Like, I would guess over 100, and I just poured like 20 in each one. So that's why they look like that, but I just wasn't sure if any of these were going to sprout. This one says 10 to 14 days, so like I said, this one was the last one to sprout. Didn't really follow the instructions. And what I've done is I've just put it in a bucket like this, a clear bucket. In the daytime, I put it out in the sun on this table, and I get a lot of sun in the evening. And in the nighttime, it still gets a little cooler, so I bring the bucket inside. Now, what I've done with the beans here, to do a little bit of a test go, is, like I said, the eggs for my meals that I was cooking, sorry, my toddler's in the background. The eggs for the meals that I was cooking, I was just cutting the tops off and then cooking it, and I would clean it out. And I would keep them in the egg carton in the fridge, and when they were all done, I rinsed them out and I put dirt and planted in them. So it's holding up pretty well. As you can see, it gets a little bit withered and wet because when I do water them, I'm pouring it on top, so it gets really wet, but the sun dried it up nicely, so it's doing good. And this way I can either crack the eggshells like I did with the last one, or I've seen people just plant it with the eggshells. And any extra eggshells that I have, I'll show you. I kind of just throw it in. Again, I'm no expert. I just kind of throw it in and mix it in with the dirt, and it's supposed to be good for the dirt, so we'll see. Seeds, there's nothing in here yet. Oh, sorry, these ones are squash, spaghetti squash that I planted, and those say 75 to 100 days, and I believe those are 8 to 10 days to sprout. These ones here, you're not going to see anything yet. We planted these about 3 days ago, didn't we, Addison? And those ones, what are those? Zucchini. Those are zucchinis. So we'll see. This one, nothing has yet to sprout, so I don't know if it'll sprout. And the one back there, nothing is yet to sprout, so I don't know if that one will sprout either. Actually, that little guy we can add to this. And like I said, I just used what I had at home, so these milk jugs worked amazing. As you can see, I put a lot of seeds in here. I did not think it was going to work. And they pretty much all sprouted, so that's good. But, you know, here as well. So that being said, that's where I'm at this experimental phase. And yeah, so those are some little gardening ideas if you want to try any of those. Super successful with that. And yeah, I'm just really impressed with how it's sprouted. Like, let's see if you can see that. Let's see if it'll focus on that. Check out those roots. Like, this is literally not even 2 weeks of me putting the seeds in this soil. Amazing. Amazing. Just so good. And I think it is really helping the fact that I am bringing it, oh no, I just broke it. Whoops. It is really helping the fact that I'm bringing them inside in the night so they don't, you know, freeze overnight, but they have the nice sun in the afternoon. So it's really going good. And I water them every evening. Just before I bring them inside, I water them. And so far it's been working for us. And I can't take all the credit. My little helper, Addison, is this your garden? Yeah. Did you plant the seeds? Yeah. Good job. My little helper. Wow. She's been helping me dig the dirt and plant the seeds and everything, so we're a good team, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
You're gonna show me the carrots?
Got one piece, please.
Yeah, we got a couple because I moved the carrots. Here, I'll show you. I moved the carrots up here to the top, some of the carrots, just to see how they would do. So I moved the ones that were doing pretty good up here. And then in this bucket, I put some kale and some lettuce. Now these buckets I just had around the house and they're pretty big. And I drilled a bunch of holes in the bottom and the side, and I got new dirt and fertilizer and just threw it in there. Same with these guys. And in these ones we still have the zucchini. They have not sprouted yet. We have the pumpkin under here, and I want to put pumpkin in here and see if I can grow pumpkin. It might come out with the vine, but it should grow. Can you go put the dirt back in the garden? And then we planted the strawberry yesterday. So this is in the hanging basket here. It gets a lot of sun. The basil was not doing well, so I took it out and I just put it here for now, seeing if it will replenish itself or not. Yeah. What's this? Mommy, wait, no, put that back. Mommy put that there to protect the seedlings. So I saw that you could kind of protect the seedlings with holes in a water bottle. We don't use plastic water bottles, but I did find one and cleaned it up and cut it up to use for this, for the little seedling. And here we have the pumpkin seeds that I planted. You can see at the top there, it's starting to grow its little, I don't know, flower or whatever. And the other one I planted, is just here. It's actually 3 of them. They're doing really well. So that's kind of what I have. Those are more pumpkins at the back. I fibbed. That is not pumpkin. Sorry, that is squash. This is squash, and I want to grow the squash in here possibly. And then I moved the sage in here. The rosemary was doing really well in the garden, but it took up a lot of the garden. So I tried to move it into a bucket, and it seems like it's dying, so I might just dry it out. We don't really use rosemary. It was something I planted, this little rosemary, last year, and it just went crazy over the winter. So that's kind of how it's going. Some of the plants aren't doing as good growth wise as some of the other ones. As you can see, the cabbage seems to be doing really good over here, whereas the cabbage at the back isn't doing as good. The blueberry bush is sprouting pretty well with its leaves, so I'm really proud and impressed. This parsley has just in the past couple days poofed up. Same with the strawberries at the back, so I'm pretty impressed. This tomato was growing a lot really fast, and now it's kind of withering a little bit. So I don't know if I'm watering it too much, too little, too much sun, too little sun. I don't know what's going on there, but we will see what happens. But the one at the back seems to be doing pretty good. And yeah, so far I'm not seeing many bugs. A couple of leaves have been chewed up here and there, but nothing too crazy. This is celery from a couple years ago that I planted, and it literally just, I can't get rid of it. I don't even use it really, but it just every time I try to pull it out, it's just stuck in there. Sorry, my toddler's screaming. And we have our beautiful thyme. So that's what we have going on. Some onions, like I said, kale, we have cabbage, tomatoes, pumpkin, strawberries, parsley, blueberry bush that I planted last year. A lot of these things, like I said, are just for fun and for experimenting, but my plan is I really want to build something for these plants. So right now this is what I have going on, but I really want to build something. Ideally it would be, if it were up to me, I would have like this, like an L, and it would just be plant beds here. But this area of the yard does not get a lot of sun. In fact, this is the shade because the sun is up here in the evening, so it rises on this side, comes over my house, and ends here. So this garden has sun everywhere for the day pretty much, whereas here has no sun. So in the summer it's ideal for my daughter to play here because it'll be shaded, and it's not ideal for the plants to be here because it will be shaded and no sun. So I'm thinking, because I have a sliding door here, maybe we could do a little mini L here. But I'm not sure, because, you know, I don't know, might just have these up and do something like this. Have to figure out where to put the buckets and stuff like that. But for now, this is my growing station. My yard does look really messy, to be honest with you, but it's all in a day's work, and it's just really fun to do. So I will say that the biggest success I've probably had from all of my seedlings growing was these milk jugs that I did, and these little eggs in the egg carton. these were done very well. Really impressed. These ones have grown really quick as well. I just repurposed the ones that the kale came in originally, and then I put the carrots in here and things like that. But these ones, I'm really impressed with how they grew. Now, something really cool that I wanted to share with you is I repotted my plants a couple weeks ago. So about 2 weeks ago, I repotted my plants just into bigger pots so they could really grow to their own potential. And when I did that, this is the same time that I was planting my seedlings. So somehow a couple seeds got in here. I don't know if you can see right there. There's one here, and you can see a couple here coming up. So I don't know what it is. It could be beans. It could be pumpkin or squash or zucchini, but something is growing, and my seeds back there for my zucchini haven't yet sprouted. So I don't know if it's that because it's inside in a nice climate, because this plant is loving this pot. Since I put this plant in this pot, it is so happy. It used to be so droopy and sad, and it's so happy in this pot. So it must be just really good soil, nutritious, and you know, these are growing now. So I don't know what this is, and I don't know how I failed that badly to accidentally grow seeds in my plant, but that happened. I haven't even checked the other planters to see if it happened in there as well, but kind of interesting, and I wanted to share. Sorry, my toddler's back there, but I'm super excited. This garden is going to be flourishing. I'll show you a clip of what it looked like last year, and they were super cheap, way cheaper than in the shop. This has saved us a lot of money over time. I've done this every single year, and for the first few years it was just out of curiosity and interest in it, more to save money and be frugal and be environmentally friendly and supporting my local farmers. So I really enjoy all aspects of it. By no way am I saying I am an expert. I would say I'm a beginner, if that, maybe not even. I'm in the beginning of the beginning stages of gardening. This garden is pretty good to sustain us over the summer months and a little bit into fall. I like to make lots of soup, so as you can see I have lots of kale and cabbage and just vegetable soup with water. It's super easy and I just love the taste of it. Addison eats it too, so it works well for us. Poppin' last year. Lots of fruits and veg, and this year I planted so many more vegetables. I like to just test out and try and see what works in my garden. I've always wanted my daughter to have her own grown pumpkin that she planted on Halloween, so let's hope that I can do that for her this year. But I'm just really impressed with this garden. It's just so peaceful and so beautiful. Next goal is to make the yard just as peaceful and beautiful, so it's a nice little oasis for me to go out and enjoy during this rough time of COVID-19.